Morning, guys. Tom Greenwood here, Everyman Carpenter YouTube channel. It has probably been 5 months since I put 4 months since I put a video up, so I figured I would talk about um, me. I thought I would talk about me. Um, and so, what I want to talk about today is how I came to work in carpentry. And the kind of carpentry I do is like the most non-standard carpentry there is. There are like house framers and house builders, people who build new houses. There are people who do kitchens and bathroom remodels and demos. And the kind of carpentry work I find myself in is what I would call non-standard carpentry. So I have, in the last few years, worked on just the most odd and unique types of projects you can imagine. Holding houses off the ground. Right now I'm working on a house that is half a puzzle and half a piece of art, and it's super difficult. There's no flow state in it. But anyway, so I ended up in carpentry, ended up working as a carpenter, not because I started out there. I didn't enter an apprenticeship. I've never had like a company that I worked for where I had carpenters that I worked underneath. Most of what I've learned has been either through when I was on a job learning from other guys, or through trial and error, or through YouTube videos, or through reading books and stuff like that. And I would never advise anyone who wants to become a carpenter for that to be like the way that they get to it, but it is the way that I've gotten to it. It's the way that I ended up doing carpentry. I never started out to be a carpenter as a thing. It was just one job followed another, and then I got better tools, and then I became more capable, and people learned about me and asked me, can you do this, can you do that? And I did those things, and that's straight up just how I got to it. So if you're thinking about going into carpentry, I would say joining the Carpenters Union is a great way to learn, or finding a really good company and working under them, or working under a trim carpenter, working like in an apprenticeship program. Great way to learn. Not how I learned. I learned strictly by doing, making a fuck ton of mistakes, so many mistakes, but learning and getting a little better and getting a little better and getting a little better until I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm not great at anything except figuring out how to fit stuff together. So I find myself in these jobs. Cats aren't happy. I find myself in these jobs that are exactly that, suited for my skill set, which is no skill set. And that's okay. You know what I mean? It's I used to have like my ego tied up in being a carpenter, like this is who I am, this is what I do, and I've tried to set that aside, like, and take as much pride in my work as I can and do the best job that I can, as a reflection of myself, but not really like tie my ego into it in the way that other people do. And I don't know like if that's of any benefit to anyone, but the value of what I bring as opposed to other people to my work is this understanding that I don't know, that I can probably do a project, and then I can probably figure it out. Now, having said that, like I have made so many mistakes, but I've learned from every single one of them. And I've had jobs that did not work out the way I wanted them to, financially, but I learned from them, and every single one of them's made me better. So that's kind of like how I ended up here. I view it as like a constant, never-ending improvement. Can I get a little bit better tool? Every time I get a better tool, I get a little bit better work. Every time I get better work, I can afford better tools. I learn a little bit more. I go on and on and on. And what feels good about it is guys I know who I think are good carpenters, I'm like, that's a good carpenter. That guy, I would recommend him. I would hire him if I were you. Tell me that I'm a decent craftsman. You know what I mean? And I'll take that. You know what I mean? And while I think constantly about doing something different, I don't know if I ever will get into something different. It doesn't matter if I do or don't. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be houses to work on, but it's always there for me. You know what I mean? And it is a place where everything else in my life can be crazy, not to my liking. I can at least go to work and work on my work and work on myself through doing it. And I wish that I was better, you know what I mean? But when I look back at work I did, I'm like, God, I was horrible. You know what I mean? So I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Anyway, this is kind of ramblings, but this YouTube channel is an encouragement to you to work on whatever your craft may be, to try and make yourself better at your craft, and to encourage you, if you think carpentry is cool or woodworking is cool, to do that, to share some of my skills and tricks and projects that I work on, but more importantly to like share with you a way that you might be able to improve yourself. You know what I mean? So this is like how I came to becoming a carpenter, or carpentering, and just yeah, just a little background on that. Anyway, I don't want to run this video too long. Hope you guys are having a good day. Enjoy the warm summer weather. Thanks for the people who've been getting value out of the stuff that I've put up. I hope that it helps you work on your projects. Thank you for asking me questions. Glad I could help you, and have a good day.